I'm here with Alexander Mercouris, editor-in-chief of the Duran. Alexander, let me read you a title via Zero Hedge on Jeffrey Epstein and what's going on there. The title of this article is Jeffrey Epstein was strangulated, famous forensic expert says. The first paragraph reads like this, Alexander. This morning on Fox and Friends, Dr. Michael Baden, a famous forensic expert and former New York City medical examiner, said that at the end of the investigation he did on behalf of Jeffrey Epstein's brother, its findings are more consistent with homicidal strangulation than suicidal hanging. This should come as no surprise, Alexander. I don't think it's a big shock that we're getting news coming out from Dr. Michael Baden that Epstein was indeed strangled and did not hang himself. The more interesting part of all of this to me may seem kind of benign to many people, but I find it interesting that Fox News broke this story, or actually had Michael Baden on to break this story. A mainstream media channel like Fox News actually is running with this. So get into it, Alexander, as to what's going on here.
Well, I agree with all of that. And can I just make 3 points? Firstly, it's Fox News, a mainstream media channel. This is not some sort of conspiracy theory that's circulating on the far fringes of the internet. It's been provided on Fox News, a mainstream channel, by a forensic pathologist who is apparently absolutely top in this field. And he's carried out this examination on behalf of Epstein's brother. This is by the closest member of Epstein's family, the person closest to him, who is still alive. So we have to take this very, very seriously. Now, can I say here, I mean, I'm not surprised. What I am is angry. Epstein, to be absolutely clear about this, was a monster. He did terrible things. He carried out an absolutely awful pattern of abuse. I don't know whether you see this, Alex, but some people managed to get onto his island recently and filmed it there, and there were all sorts of hideous gargoyles all over the island, you know, sort of absolutely bizarre-looking statues. It suggests a very, very twisted man. So, I mean, a really disturbing individual who did terrible things. He dies in these very contested circumstances. He's supposed to be, he was, when he was imprisoned, the most famous prisoner in the United States. He dies in this strange way, and there's still no proper investigation into all that. No real attempt to hold anybody to account, and the investigation into his crimes and to the people who might have been involved in his crimes, and all sorts of names have been mentioned, all sorts of famous people, members of the British royal family, top politicians of the United States. We all know the names. There seems to be no interest by the authorities in looking into any of this. And I feel very angry about it. I feel very let down by it. And I'm amazed that more people are not protesting about this. Of course, the media itself, and I think Fox News should be congratulated, by the way, for informing us about this story. But the rest of the media has behaved disgracefully. And the Me Too crowd, which have been so angry about the fact that there has been some abuse of adult Hollywood stars, is apparently completely uninterested in the much more terrible abuse of underage, probably lower class or working class girls who were treated by this monster and his associates in this terrible way. So, I mean, the whole thing upsets me deeply and makes me very angry.
Let me read you what Dr. Baden told Fox News during the interview, Alexander, and I quote, "Those 3 fractures are extremely unusual in suicidal hangings and could occur much more commonly in homicidal strangulation. The prominent hemorrhage in the soft tissues of the neck next to the fractures is evidence of a fresh neck compression that could have caused the death. I've not seen in 50 years where that occurred in a suicidal hanging case."
Well, there you are. That's a top forensic pathologist. That's the man who knows what he's talking about. I am not a top forensic pathologist. I have no reason to doubt what this man is saying.
Well, someone who is doubting it, Alexander, is the New York Medical Examiner, Barbara Sampson, who came out with her rebuttal, which she says, and I quote, "Our investigation concluded that the cause of Mr. Epstein's death was hanging and the manner of death was suicide. Quote, we stand by the determination."
Yes, well, my concern is that she refers to an investigation. What investigation is that? Where is this investigation? We've heard a report, but we've seen nothing further. We've seen no evidence of witnesses. We've heard all sorts of stories about the prison guards. None of them seem to have been properly examined or arrested. It's all a wall of silence, a curtain of silence has descended over this affair. And of course, she's disputing what Dr. Baden is saying. But at least Dr. Baden is coming forward and talking to Fox News, and he's putting his cards on the table, and he's speaking, I presume, honestly, of what he knows. He said it himself. He's never seen in 50 years anything like this, which has happened as a result of a suicide.
So Fox News allows him to make the statement, Alexander, and to give his expert opinion as to what happened, his expert analysis as to what happened. As I said in opening the video, this shouldn't shock anybody. I'm sure all of our viewers who are watching this are not surprised at all. Everyone was pretty confident that if Epstein really is dead, because you also have these theories that Epstein wasn't killed at all, which is very plausible. I don't, I don't know. No one knows. But I can definitely see the logic in that as well. But you have the other side where where people are saying, and I was one of them, this was not a suicide. Too many things went too right for this to have been a suicide. The 2 guards sleeping, the prison cell, the prison cellmate not being there, all kinds of coincidences. But the fact that Fox News brings in this guy to make this statement, to me, is very, very interesting, very suspicious. Is this, Alexander, some sort of warning to Pelosi, to Schumer, 6 Ways of Sunday, the deep state, who's involved in all kinds of stuff like this? You said we don't need to name the names again. We don't need to name the names. Everyone who's viewing this knows the list of names that were involved in Epstein's network. Is this a warning to them to back off, and they're using Fox News to do it? Because we're 3 months removed from when this all went down, and it's been, like you said, radio silence, and all of a sudden he makes a statement on Fox News.
Right. A few things to say. Firstly, when I heard about Epstein's death, I had an open mind. I was prepared to accept that it might be suicide. I know that people who are in the kind of situation that Epstein is do, it's not unusual for them to commit suicide. But as you rightly said, for that to have happened, a massive so-called fail-safes needed to have failed. If that was indeed what happened, and I remember saying this at the time, we needed a full, frank, complete and transparent explanation of what exactly went wrong. It needed to be done fast, and we needed to have it explained fully and properly. There has been, as you rightly said, radio silence about this for 3 months. Inevitably, as a result of that, the doubts have grown, including my doubts. So when I hear a forensic pathologist, an eminent forensic pathologist, say that this was not a suicide, but a strangulation, a homicide, I am prepared to give those words credence. That's changed. I've changed on this. Now, for the rest, the fact that it's been announced in this fashion by Fox News, I don't know what the reasons Fox News had for publishing it now are. But we are in the middle of an impeachment inquiry. There's been all sorts of attempts to overthrow or remove from office a Republican president. The people who seem to have been involved with Epstein or seem to have had some kind of connection with Epstein, to the extent that one can tell, because so little is known, seem to be more the kind of people that are opposed to Trump than support him. Trump himself did know Epstein, but was apparently very concerned about him, and I think it is now confirmed that he banned Epstein from Mar-a-Lago. So this is not a Trump scandal. It is, if anything, a scandal for Trump's opponents. Is it a coincidence, therefore, that in the middle of this further attempt to discredit Trump and remove him from office, that a mainstream TV channel comes up with this information about Epstein? Well, frankly, I don't think so.
Yeah, the problem with all of this is that Barr's father is connected to Epstein as well. He was the one that first hired Epstein to teach at the New York private school that he was headmaster at. So I think Barr has a little bit of a conflict of interest there.
I think that's a long time ago, actually. And of course, if he does, that doesn't affect Donald Trump. Right.
That needs to be flushed out a little bit so we can see exactly if Barr is ready to pursue this. I mean, that's my feeling on it. I would like to know more information there, so people can put trust in the AG that he is going to investigate this. Because, right, like you said, for 3 months, at least from what we know, maybe they're doing something behind the scenes. From what we know, nothing is being done.
Well, this is exactly the point. I mean, you said that this has to be flushed out. Lots and lots of things have to be flushed out. This ought to be a gigantic scandal in the United States. All sorts of people are implicated in it in some way. All sorts of people need to be, to give accounts of what they are doing. And instead we have radio silence. And I come back to what I said. I am not coming to any definite conclusions. There just still isn't enough evidence. As I said, I listen to what Dr. Hayden says. He's an eminent forensic pathologist. I'm not going to argue with him. But what we need is a clear and transparent inquiry, both into how Epstein came to die and about who was involved in the crimes which he committed and what were those crimes. Epstein's victims deserve nothing less.
Alexander Mercouris, editor-in-chief of the Duran. Thank you very much. Guys, if you like this video, click on that subscribe button down below and hit that notifications bell to make sure you get notifications when we publish new videos, and go to SoundCloud and iTunes and subscribe to us there to get an audio copy of this video, and also donate to us on PayPal, Patreon, and Subscribestar. Your donation really means a lot to us and it helps keep this channel moving forward. And something else that means a lot to us is when you buy Duran merchandise and you drink from our magic mugs or wear some Duran apparel. out and about in your city or town, wherever you are in the world. Alexander.
Indeed, you'd show further sign that you're joining our community, because both Alex and I are currently wearing Duran shirts, and we're both drinking from our magic mugs, as we have to do in order to sustain ourselves through the day, so that we can deliver these amazing programs that we make for you. And what great mugs they are, and no wonder they're magical, because they are beautiful porcelain mugs, a joy to hold, a pleasure to drink from, whether you're drinking tea, as I do, or coffee, as Alex tends to do, or beer, as I actually have done, or water, as, let's face it, we all of us occasionally do. So they are wonderful, beautiful mugs. This one has the double-headed eagle of Moscow, which is not the same as the Duran double-headed eagle that you see there. And you can see that there is St. George on his white horse, slaying the dragon of fake news and untruth, which is, of course, what we also do on the Duran. And those are our mugs, and these are our shirts. As you can see, I'm wearing one of our great Duran polo shirts. This one is grey with the eagle there, beautifully embroidered on in black. I think these are amazing shirts. My wife tells me I look great in them. Not just my wife, lots of people. I've worn them to rather elegant functions and have looked apparently extremely smart there. So you can get these amazing polo shirts in our shop. You can also get t-shirts, both long-sleeved and short-sleeved t-shirts. You can get hoodies. You can get hats, you can get stickers. Our shirts, I think I said, are 100% cotton. All our products are of amazing quality. Our shirts, our mugs, everything. And Alex has been refreshing our product line so that you'll find lots of things to cover every taste. So what are you waiting for? Help the Duran, help yourself, go to our shop. Alex will tell you how to do it.
You'll find the link for the Duran shop down below, theduranshop.com. Alexander Mercouris, editor-in-chief of the Duran. Thank you very much. Till next time, everybody. Take care.